this is something I hear from e-commerce founders on a weekly basis. What is a good conversion rate for their Shopify store, right? Depending if they're selling jewelry, cosmetics, if they're selling high ticket, if they're selling low ticket, what can they use to determine what is actually a good benchmark for their brand as far as conversion rate, and what is a bad benchmark as far as conversion rate goes for their brand and for their store. And in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can start thinking about this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. Okay guys, so like I mentioned, what is a good conversion rate for your Shopify store? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. As always, I just want to let you know who I am. My name is Jordan Bazouzi. I'm the CEO and founder at New Reach Media. We're an e-commerce growth partner, right? I've been working with 6, 7, and 8-figure brands for the last 4.5 years at this point, managing paid ads, email and SMS marketing, conversion rate optimization, and user-generated content. And so if you're interested in working with us or you want to utilize some of our one-on-one coaching, all that stuff is in the description. But let's go ahead and dive in, guys. So to get started, guys, obviously we have to understand what is the actual conversion rate of the website. What is the conversion rate and how does Shopify calculate this? So the conversion rate is the percentage of visitors that actually come to your website and take a desired action. Now you'll notice on Shopify, there's going to be basically a percentage on the people that add to cart, the people that initiate checkout, and then from that, right, Shopify is going to determine the percentage of all of those people who actually purchase, and that's what's going to give you your conversion rate percentage. So let's go ahead and hop onto a Shopify store. So for this brand here, this is one of our clients. You can see in the last 90 days, right, they have a 3.39% conversion rate. How is this calculated? So essentially 54,000 people, or 54,000 sessions of people added to cart on their website over the last 90 days at a 10% add to cart rate, right? So basically 10 out of every 100 people are adding something to cart on the website. Out of those people, 8% are initiating checkout, right? So what that means is not 8% of the add to carts. That would be a much lower percentage than 44,000, but this is 8% of that overall number of people who initiated coming to the website. So this is 8% of overall people coming to the website are initiating checkout. And then from that, we're having more than a 50% drop off. That 3.39% of people are converting on this product and on this brand. And you'll notice specifically with this brand, they have a very high average order value, over $200. This is generally a pretty high conversion rate for a brand with this high of an average order value. But to give you perspective, again, on how this number is calculated, it's going to be based off of these different variables, right? So the add to cart, the initiate checkout, and then people actually converting. And essentially this number is coming from the overall people that are coming to your website. So this brand had 531,000 people come to their website in the last 90 days. If I search this on Google and search 3.39% of 531,000, that would come out to 18,000, which is precisely the number of orders that they have over the last 90 days. So simply, right, this is just going to be the number of people that come to your website and actually convert, and that's how Shopify is going to determine that percentage. Now, what is a good percentage? Let's dive in. So there's two things that we need to differentiate here when it comes to, all the other variables that are involved with, determining what's a good conversion rate for your brand, right? Whether you're selling jewelry, whether you're selling blankets, whether you're selling mattresses, whether you're selling car parts online, the big variable to take away from all that, right? Because obviously there's nuance to this and there's never going to be like a set in stone baseline. But what we're going to be looking at today is the difference between the average conversion rate for high average order value brands versus low average order value brands. I'm going to break them down individually and then how you can focus on improving your conversion rate. So for low average order value brands, you're going to be expecting a much higher conversion rate, right? Products with a low AOV see higher conversion rates. This is because generally there's a much lower financial commitment and a financial hurdle from the customer that they have to overcome, right? Making the purchasing decision much more simpler. This can become an impulse buy, etc. It's generally perceived as low risk. So if they don't like it or, whatever, it's not a big deal. They don't have to do too much thinking about this. And so typically anything under a $100 average order value is considered a low enough ticket in my eye, where the typical conversion rate is going to be sitting between 2% to 6%. The lower the AOV, the higher the possible conversion rate. So if you're below a 2% conversion rate on a brand below a $100 AOV, there is a big problem there. I would really highly suggest focusing on your conversion rate and improving it. And the other thing to think about here, guys, is volume strategy, right? So brands selling lower AOV items typically rely on a much higher volume strategy where the profit margin per item is small, right? You may only be making $10, $5, whatever the case may be per order, but the overall profit increases with the number of units sold. And to support this, marketing efforts might focus on driving high value, or rather a high volume, as opposed to, really low CPAs to achieve more of those conversions, because that's when the profit's going to be coming with your brand. And that's going to allow you to achieve, again, focusing on higher volume, getting a little bit more of a higher conversion rate. That's something you need to be thinking about. And overall, the customer acquisition focus actually shifts. So with lower priced items often comes a cheaper CPA for new customers. So the ease of the purchase can attract first-time buyers into making those spontaneous decisions. Like I said, with a lower average order value brand, again, there's going to be a lot of impulse purchases there. You should be sitting between 2 to 6% conversion rate. Now, for a high average order value brand, this is where the spectrum shifts and goes to the other side, right? So for lower conversion rates, or for higher AOVs, lower conversion rates is what you need to be expecting, because the higher the AOV, right, the higher the price point that is actually required from the customer. And that's going to require from them the ability to make, more deliberation on their decision, more research, more consideration. There's a higher financial risk when it comes to selling something more expensive, leading to a longer sales cycle, more education required, and fewer impulse purchases going to be happening. So typically, once you're surpassing that $100 AOV, in my mind, it's considered a high enough ticket price where the typical conversion rate is going to be sitting, sub 4% at most, right? Of course, this ranges. You could be selling, a sauna as an example. I'm sure the conversion rate on a sauna is fairly high, because that's not just something that people are going to be going ahead and searching, just adding to cart on. But regardless, because there's high intent on something like that, it may be really low. But generally, like I said, over $100 AOV, if you can be sitting, even above a 2% conversion rate, you'll be pretty happy. But anything below 4% is going to be a realistic number. And so quality and value perception. So high AOV items often hinge on the perceived quality and the value they offer to the customer. So if you're selling this sort of product, you may want to invest in significantly building trust, education, showcasing premium natures of the product, and demonstrating the value to justify that higher price. And this leads to also customer retention and loyalty. So for higher AOV products, the emphasis is often on retaining customers and building loyalty, right? You've spent all this money to acquire that customer the one time. It's much easier to retain them instead of going ahead and acquiring on new customers all the time, which is why you'll see those lower conversion rates. And so quick, easy strategy, guys, to optimize for both. So for low AOV products, simply what you want to do here to improve the conversion rate is optimize the checkout process, right? Make things as seamless as possible. Think of the Amazon style play here. You basically just want to make it a one-click process to buy, make it as frictionless as possible. Make sure you're using things like social proof, reviews, ratings to encourage impulse buys as well. Offering small incentives. So like, hey, if you get to a $50 average order value, right, you're going to get a free gift, or you're going to get free shipping, limited time offers, or just nudging someone to get them over the hurdle and actually complete that purchase, because it is such an impulse buy that they might be making. And then on the other hand, right, when it comes to high AOV products, you need to be providing detailed information, comparisons like us versus them, educational content to actually help someone research, right? So if this is, you're selling something that's $200 plus, the consumer is probably going to be doing a bit of research. And so you want to help them do that. Things like offering financing options is huge as well, especially like for like an 8 sleep as an example. Now, this is something that, is a couple $1,000s. They had a financing option. I went with that. It actually helped me, convert on their product, making the purchase a lot more accessible to people who may not have that money up front. And this allows you to focus on building the brand. That way that customers, actually trust you with the idea of quality and reliability, ultimately improving your conversion rate. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. The one thing that I really wanted to get across is to have you understand the difference between, again, not what a baseline is for your conversion rate overall, because again, there are so many variables, but to understand what goes into driving that conversion rate and the difference between the type of products that you're selling, right? Low AOV versus high AOV, there's going to be a difference in comparison there for your conversion rate. And like I said, guys, just to recap there, lower AOV products, right, sub $100, you should be aiming for anywhere between an absolute minimum of a 2% conversion rate upwards as high as 6% and above. And then for a higher AOV product, right, over $100, I would be saying anything below, I would say like realistically, if you're sitting, always anything below 1% is concerning, but generally you're going to have struggles getting like as high as 4% with a higher AOV product. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe, share this with a friend that might be interested in learning about this for their brand. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Chat soon.